What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. First thing I do early in the morning, weather permitting, is I come up here, I clear my thoughts, I get my prayers off, I talk to God, and then I recap from the day yesterday, right? And so before I even head into the office, especially on the weekends, because I am going to be heading into the office, I know it's Sunday, but before I even head into the office, I got to gather myself, I got to get my thoughts. And the first thought that I thought about this morning when I woke up is street interviews from yesterday. So I did do some street interviews yesterday. There's some changes that I think that I need to make, especially if you're doing it when the sun is going down or when it's dark outside. The first observation is I need to do better with my lighting, and I need to get more mobile, right? So some changes that I need to make, but it's a learning experience, especially since it was the first time. Actually, not even the first time. I did something years ago, but it's the first time for me doing it recently, especially at night. So make some changes, some adjustments, and some things that I'm learning. But I also had some takeaways from yesterday, and I was going to say 4 takeaways, maybe it's 5, but I'm just going to authentically give you my thoughts from doing street interviews yesterday. The question that I asked people was, who are you voting for and why? And then we kind of segmented off and we went into a bunch of stuff. So throughout the editing process, I'm trying to figure out if I want to leave the entire context, because some people started rambling a little bit, or if I want to just get straight to the chase, whatever. But I think I'm gonna just leave the whole thing in and then throw the timestamps in, and then y'all can jump around and do whatever it is that you want to do with it. But before I get into this conversation, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. A couple different observations from yesterday. People are very, very scary, especially white people, right? White people are scary when it comes to talking about their political affiliations. Now, I probably asked an equal amount of black people, white people, and all in between. The only people that participated on there was some white people and majority black people. Off camera, white people are willing to tell you anything you want to know. They have no problems whatsoever. And I am a very social person, meaning that I'm willing to go up to anybody, have the conversation with anybody. I'm very likable as far as like, oh, what's going on? Like, I'm a joyful person. So I got no negative pushback on some like, oh no, get out of my face type stuff. But all of the feedback was like, oh, what's the question gonna be? You know what I'm saying? That I'm gonna be asked on camera. And I tell them, like, I don't have no problem telling people, because I ain't the type of person that ever catch you by surprise. What is it gonna be? Well, I'm gonna ask you, what are your thoughts, and why you voting for who you voting for, as far as that. I can't do it, bro. And some of them was like, they can't do it because they job, they don't want to go viral. You know what I'm saying? They not trying to catch no L's as far as publicly and stuff like that. And it was some white people that came on the platform that did express their thoughts. One of them I missed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I forgot to hit record, and it was all stupid because it was my very first one. Very first person that I interviewed was a white person. And my sample size, I wound up talking to about 25 different people. So I'll probably cut it up into 3 different videos, because that's just going to be a way too long of a video. But all of them said Trump, and all of them was able to substantiate, whether they was on camera or not, and they was all able to substantiate whether or not they was going to vote for him based off of policy. And they was talking about immigration. They was talking about real issues. Now, another observation that I caught yesterday was that black men that were by themselves, most of them said Trump. I can't remember one black man that was by himself that wound up saying Kamala Harris. Some of them was drunk. You'll see that in the video. Some of them was young thugs. And then other ones were, they started off by saying they were undecided. And so they was more like cautious, trying to figure out how they should play it. I'm undecided. Then I would press them a little bit. And I would ask them, well, you'll see in the interview. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but I press them a little bit. A couple more observations. Some women were undecided. And then the rest of the black people, a lot of them were Kamala Harris. But here's the thing. Most of the men that were with women would then say Kamala Harris. Let me say that again. Most of the men, like, it was a couple guys that was like, oh no, you go first, you go first. And so she would go on and she was like, oh, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she's a black woman and I wanted to see her first black woman and stuff like that, right? So they would say that, they would give me that spiel. I knew it was coming, and I got a bevy of different answers. And so I'm gonna try to release it. I don't know if I should release it today or if I should release it Wednesday, but I'm gonna drop it, right? And then the guy would get on and I would say, all right, so who you rocking with? I would just go straight to him. I wouldn't even plug him up with a mic. I would just ask him straight up. And he would just be using her mic, right? Her mic would be on the lapel. All right, who you going with? And he'll look at her, Kamala. And it's like, simps are crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes will do anything for box. I mean, anything for the box. They ain't trying to mess it up. And I don't know, like, I didn't ask them if they was married. I didn't ask them if they was single. I ain't asking none of that. I ain't asking if it was just a date that they was on, because I wasn't trying to mess up they moment. But, and sorry for the win, y'all. I wasn't trying to mess up their moment. But the point is that all answers, mostly that was for Kamala Harris, were influenced, or they were from women that were liberal. And you got to remember, my sample size is not just from the people that are on camera, it's also from the people that didn't want to be on camera, but was willing to express their thoughts and why they felt the way that they was feeling. And so I didn't see anybody cite any policy. I didn't see anybody that said anything as far as Kamala Harris. And I'm just being absolutely honest, because I'm gonna just release it. I'm not gonna modify it and edit it. I'm gonna just drop the different interviews. And I think that this is something that I need to do, not only here in Detroit, but I need to do across the United States of America. I want to see what people are really saying, because I listen to these polls, and these polls are so skewed. It's so wrong. I don't even get contacted. I don't know anybody that's ever been contacted to take a poll. And they say, oh man, the polls had this happening, this happening. Every election they wrong, and every election is way off. And so I think that the polls are skewed. I don't know how they get this information. I don't know if they coaxing them out of them. But one of my strategies in the interviews was not to try to influence them or to grill them. But anytime that I talk to people, I want to get their authentic thoughts. So my goal is, you know, because it's already an art to getting people to get on camera to talk about their thoughts anyway. People don't just automatically volunteer. They see somebody with a camera, and they're like, oh man, I don't know. I don't want to be on camera. I ain't trying to go viral. I don't know what this is. You know, they're already apprehensive about sharing their thoughts on camera. Let me get out of this wind. They're already apprehensive about sharing their thoughts on camera. So, you know, it's got to be an art form already to get the person to answer and then conversate to where they are willing to share what their thoughts are on camera. And then after that, you know, you want to have them relax, because I'm not trying to grill them per se, but I'm trying to get them to open up and be their authentic selves so they can share with us exactly what they, you know, what their thoughts are. So it should be interesting. I think that you guys will like it. I'm looking forward to your feedback, and I'm also looking forward to upgrading the experience to make it a little bit more digestible and a greater quality of product. But again, y'all got to give me a little bit of slack, because it's my first time. I still think this is dope, but this is my first time, so y'all got to give me a little bit of slack. And we're gonna be hitting the streets to find out what people really think. All right, so again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Y'all let me know, is that the only question that y'all want me to ask? What other questions do you want me to ask? What places should I go to in order to better understand how people are voting? And then just give me the feedback. I want all feedback, good, bad, indifferent. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with me, and thank you for adding value into my life, because without you, there is no me. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe to all of the channels: Millionaire Morning Show, After Hours, this channel, Anton Daniels. And I'm going to continue to do the work, even on Saturdays, even on Sundays. I can't help myself. This is what I love to do. So even if I wasn't, you know, making money from content creation, I would be out here in the streets doing it. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.